DWC. It's your boy TWP Popcorn. Y'all already know what time it is. 6 p.m. Wednesday, 10 a.m. Saturday and Sunday, aka another day in paradise. Yeah, y'all giving me all problems. Shouts out to the tech problems. It says my Ethernet cable ain't plugged in, but my two other phones have a good signal, which is crazy. This is madness. What do you mean it ain't? What do you mean it? It's weird because, I'm sitting right here watching Laquita Marie. Shouts out to the superfood parents. Y'all know to go check out my video sponsors 7 days a week because they got enough content for you to stay busy. If not, just watch me. I'll watch them too. So, this was not helpful at all. But anyways, hell, I ain't got too much to do today. I had some videos lined up for us, but since that ain't gonna play, I ain't gonna play with you. Matter of fact, I'm just sit here and smoke and listen to some music on my other phone while y'all come in and tell me what computer problems I could be having. I don't know. Y'all act like I'm new here. Shouts out to the Rumble. Y'all know to go check me out over there too. We got videos up, which reminds me I was supposed to be recording this for there, but yeah, no, they ain't worried about it. It's gonna be a quick, lightweight shows. That way I can get in and get out. That way I get my shit fixed by Saturday, hopefully. We'll see. Shouts out to the snow. Somebody got to see some problems behind it, right? Yeah. That's what song that is. That's that whole album. I don't know. This is the whole album. Can't be giving y'all my swag. What up, Uncle Skin? Good to see you. How you been? Hopefully you're smoking good and doing good. No, it's cold out here in Missouri, so I'm gonna throw you a jacket. That way, maybe you can stay warm wherever you are. If not, you can network with whoever come in. Shout out to the networking gang. I was giving somebody a consultation earlier, and I was letting them know networking is always going to be the best way to succeed because, what you can't do by yourself, that's what networking entails. It involves you getting help. If you can't get help, well, you can pay for it. If you ain't got no money, then you better listen to the people that are willing to give you free advice and always take it. The wrenches come standard over here, you know what I'm saying? As long as I know you out here supporting people, I want you to go pull up on the people I know. Because if nothing else, I do know 1,000 content creators. Shouts out to YouTube because I do know 1,000 content creators. That's what those qualifications for getting monetized are, right? Well, you might want to find 1,000 people that like you. If you can't find 1,000 people that like you in the world today, hell, you got some problems. Shouts out to having problems because, hell, I don't want those kind of problems. I want the problems that come from knowing too many people. That means I usually get shit done because I know the people that can do it for me. If not, I can pay them to do it for me. If not, shit happens. Like this computer. Hell, hopefully it just kick itself right back in its own ass and get cranked up so we can get the fuck on up out of here. Shouts out to Green Giant. Y'all know to go check out the big homie over there. Good content, good content. Who is this? I got somebody in here I don't know. Me time. Hopefully you're cool. Because if you're a troll, I know how to handle y'all. Hey, shouts out to that How to Handle Trolls video. I do enjoy that part of the game. Because, shit, I be about that life. Let's go see. Oh, this is a great support channel. Y'all know to go shout out to our people across seas. This phone cracked, so y'all know it's fucked up. But anyways, I'm going to throw you a wrench too, because you know how we go. I was just giving that big old speech about people networking. So make sure you meet everybody in here. You dig? Anyways, we 5 minutes into the video. I believe I'm smoking some outdoor that was grown this year from my big homie. I forgot what he said it was called because hell, he had me dry and cure it for him in my facilities because you know that's one of the things we do at deep water cultivating. You got a new harvest that you need, you don't know what to do with, but you was outside, just threw some plants out there. I got you covered. Now let's see what this computer talking about. Purple punch mixed with grape ape. Oh shit, he got some of that good shit too. That sounds good. But it got that nice. Let's see. Purple punch mixed with grape ape. So that's probably got a nice little grape flavor to it. Shouts out to the grape ape. Hey, yeah, like my sister's newest baby daddy. Shouts out to the baby daddy gang. I know how y'all is about that, but you know YouTube can get on her later about that shit. Anyways, he looks like we got internet signal now. That's what's up. They off that bullshit. But yeah, you can see that's why I said I know it got that nice grape taste to it because that's what you was trying to get up out of that one. Hell, some purple bud with some grape taste. Yeah, that's always gonna be a good favor for you. Hell, no, let's not restore. Let's just start new because I don't want you to bring up the same last bullshit it was on. Apparently. Oh, man, shout out to Anthony. See, that's why I said, hell, if you can't get free genetics out here that are good, you ain't meeting the right people. See, because you can either buy stuff or get stuff sent to you for free all the damn time. You just ain't got to be an asshole half the damn time, and then you'll be cool. Shout out to the networking. Uh oh. He said, how can you get some shit from the nearest? Shout out to Sir Early. Good question. See, the thing about out of state shit is the out of state shit's supposed to be illegal unless you're buying legal hemp. Shouts out to the legalized hemp because you can do that. You can order from any website, it'll mail it to you. So, I mean, you do your research on the company and their products to make sure you're going to be getting something you want. But it'll either be Delta 8 or whichever one is legally mailable anywhere within the United States of America because shouts out to hemp, you can legally mail most of that shit anywhere within America, even to those states that ain't friendly on the cannabis program. Just make sure it's labeled hemp, and then you can get your hemp anytime you want. So you know, I wouldn't be too worried about that part of the game. Yeah, damn near anywhere online. So, yeah, that's why we stay up on the laws. Cause hell, you ain't gonna tell me I can't smoke. I don't know what the hell you was smoking to even tell me that, right? But anyways, let's get to these couple videos. Cause hell, I might have something else to do tonight. We gonna see though. We gonna see what we talking about though. Shouts out to the new What's Poppin' Wednesday playlist.
Homeboy picked me up and we just started doing charity. We was donating ass whoopers to anybody who needed it. Everybody who ran up, have a seat. Motherfucker ran up, have a seat. Everybody run, have a fucking seat, bitch. Don't nothing fold about me. I fold motherfuckers up. But on some real shit, they lucky my cousin went in there. It could have went real different, because, you know, he armed. God, bro, I be ready to spin, bro. And he don't play. He made from the same leather Black Air Force Ones made from. I was in the office when it was going down, but, bro, hey, my cousin know I'm with the stitch. This real with us, bro. We come from this. My granddaddy was in the sit-ins. Yeah. My grandma.
That's why I said you got to pay attention to what companies you're going through because they'll label it as hemp, but it'll be straight up regular flour, so it won't even be no different. I mean, you might get some of that CBD diet shit, but for the most part, they gonna try to send you a nice demo because they want you to be a return customer.
Was the damn seat Rosa Parks ain't want to get up from. Don't think because we chairs we don't stand on business. We ain't no reserved seats, bro. We in your face with it. We sturdy over here. Oh, and that bitch that caught my bro lacking at the Waffle House? Don't think we forgot about you. We on your ass. And under it. Bro, what? I mean, because you got to sit in chairs. I'm pretty sure she sit down every day. Bro, this not the time.
She sit down every. Well, that one's over anyways. What up, Mr. Whistle? Good to see you. Hopefully you're doing good. I knew that video was gonna give me pop probably, but we had to try it. Hell. Get out of there, get out of there. I done changed the camera. And the sound's back.
I got an Amazon Prime.
Hell, they trying to hate on the corn today. Come on, let me back in. Let me see, let me see. I went from having tech problems to booted by the damn Matrix. Ain't that a bitch? And of course they gonna block the highlight. Yep, well, they gonna let me back in? Alright, we back, we back, we back. They caught it right at the end of the video too. That's the funny part about it. So it's a good thing I can edit that part out. But y'all know how we do. Shout out to my level 2 Buy Me a Coffee members. Appreciate and respect all of y'all. You know, shit, that's why y'all get y'all clips in the videos, clips in the videos. Shout out to Melinda Elliott. She's been holding me down for a couple months now. I appreciate that. That's why you've been seeing a lot of Melinda. Here's an unboxing from her channel. Y'all know to go check her out. I'll drop her link here in a sec. Because you know you ain't got to look for them. I'll let you know where to go. Man, well, YouTube's been that way the whole time. I mean, I run a review channel, so they better remember that's what my job is, to watch other people's content. Now, hey, as long as you got your paperwork and your litigation together, I will respectfully not play your shit. But if you ain't got your litigation and paperwork together and there ain't nothing saying that not to use your content for how I'm going to use it, I'm going to use it. So that's why I tell y'all, when y'all getting into these politics, be ready to handle the motherfucking problems. I don't mind them flagging that part of the video. I ain't even gonna cuss out YouTube. Everybody's supposed to do their job. But at the same point in time, don't sit here and tell Popcorn he can't get paid for watching your video. I don't know who the fuck told you that was gonna be cool. Cause I'll come rob your house if I need to. I'll break through the window if I got to, right? Hey, I mean, I asked you for a handout, which was just me reviewing your content. But then if you want to be a Billy Badass, well, shit, you'll come to my house and you see all your shit. What happened? Oh, shit, I done pissed off Popcorn. That's the wrong thing to do. But now let's get some support up over here. Make sure you like the video because it's apparently going to be one of the good ones because, you know, we already got parts of it being blocked. See, I'm not even recording this part for Rumble. I'm going to have to re-record that for Rumble later. This will be a good Rumble exclusive. Shouts out to the Rumble exclusives. It lets y'all know to stay on the Rumble. Shouts out to being Rumble ready.
Upside down. Well, I mean, it is upside down, so I hide the label. But it's upside down to see the product. But it's got some packaging in it that's interesting. Got miles of this stuff. Or it looks like miles of this stuff. And I had decided that I was going to try some coloring, adult coloring. And if I remember correctly,
What is this? I think that's the last of that one that I had got from the leafy yard.
Open it.
Shouts out to that. This shit smell fruity.
I remember this is
Got them terps in it. Shouts out to the terpinators.
Colors and such. Oh, no, this is the markers. So these are supposed to be alcohol markers. The lady I'm watching, ooh, that's a pretty color. The lady I'm watching did a picture in alcohol markers, and it was real pretty. There's another color that's pretty. It was real pretty the way that it blended together. I can't see the bottom of that well enough, to know if it has the name of a color on it or what. I'm assuming it does. Packing label.
Then again, here lately, I have been noticing
Let's see. This one says
that a lot of the
baby blue.
review channels I used to watch have disappeared.
So
So,
anyhow,
hell, they might
that's
be
one
cracking
of the
down.
things that
I don't care
got
though.
to
You know what we gonna do?
color
We got the
with.
backup channel, the other backup channel, and the
The
cultivation
lady's
channel.
name is Eileen Vick,
Which
and she does
I ain't worried about the
coloring
cultivation channel.
books.
They only follow the rules. We only follow the rules over there. You know,
This is
shout
one
out
of
to
them.
business.
Mischievous
Gotta know how to
fairies.
conduct that business.
So she does what she calls grayscale, and that helps you know where to lay down the darker colors. And this will be fun to go through. I don't know, maybe I'll do that on camera. And then what else do I get? I believe these are pencil colors. And you probably need more of these. Because the people that I see online, it has 72 pieces. But the people and they show you the colors. The people I see online have colored pencils and colored pencils and colored pencils. I couldn't decide what to buy, what was a good brand or not, because I don't know enough yet. I hadn't done this before. Some things I've done before, but not this. So I just finally bought one. So that's going to be lots of fun. What else did I
But
buy?
I will definitely drop the link for the Rumble video once I get that recorded and put up for y'all. Because this is
Shirts.
hilarious.
For the grandkids.
I got
Just
your video
ordinary
is blocked
blue
right there.
T-shirts.
All that good shit.
That's funny, that came in
Oh,
the same
shit.
package. Anyhow, that was my box. Bye.
I'm the most feared man in Hollywood. They don't like me in Hollywood.
Why did they not like you?
I don't wear dresses. I don't do that gay stuff on TV. You had to get some other black person to do that stuff. I'm talking, that's gunna. But they all confess they love the Lord. But you cannot compromise yourself if you love the Lord. So I play tough guys, but young kids want to be soldiers. Young kids don't want to follow a guy to wear a dress. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
Nate and
Shout out to
Topher,
Tiny.
two regular teens from Idaho, came up with a plan they thought could change their lives. They'd heard that British Columbia's weed was some of the best in the world. In 2001, Canada had just legalized medical marijuana, and the industry was booming. In the US, high-quality weed like that was nearly impossible to find, which meant demand would be through the roof. Nate was convinced. If they could get their hands on just 1 pound, they'd not only make back their money but also kick off a profitable business. But there was one big problem. They were broke. Nate worked as a pizza delivery guy, and even with tips, his paycheck barely covered gas and random expenses. Topher wasn't doing much better, working as a ride operator at a local amusement park. Together, they scraped together $1,400. Topher got most of it by selling an old boat he'd pulled from the bottom of a lake years ago. Nate joked it was Topher's first big deal, though the boat was more scrap metal than anything else. Fueled by the dream of striking it rich, they crossed the Canadian border, thinking it'd be easy to find a seller. But after hours of wandering and a few awkward conversations with locals, reality hit. British Columbia might be known for its weed, but it wasn't like you could just walk up to someone on the street and ask, "Hey, know where I can buy some?" Frustrated and running out of ideas, Nate suggested they hit
That's
up a bar to
what
take a
Early was
breather.
talking about earlier,
The bar
bro.
they
Working
found
off
was
out the
exactly what
plug.
you'd picture in a small
Yeah,
border
you
town.
can't just get it anywhere.
Peeling
But
walls,
you better
sticky
find good
tables
places
covered
to
in
get
beer
it.
stains, a flickering neon sign, and the lingering smell of old cigarettes.
Or grow your
That's
own.
where they met
You
a
know,
guy
shout
who
out to
looked like
indoor
he knew a thing or
cultivation.
two about the
Selfish
local
plug right
scene.
there.
His
Selfish
name was
plug.
Frankie. Frankie looked like he'd spent his entire life in places like this. He was wearing a beat-up jacket, nursing a pint of cheap beer, and had this raspy voice that made him sound like he smoked a pack a day. The second Nate and Topher walked up to him, Frankie seemed to know exactly what they wanted. You wouldn't happen to know where we could find some flowers, would you? Nate asked, trying to sound confident but coming off awkward. Frankie smirked and squinted at them. Flowers, huh? I've got plenty of the best BC buds at my place. Question is, how much cash you got? Nate hesitated, but Topher blurted out, $1,400. Perfect.
See.
Frank
That's one thing you don't ever do. You don't ever actually tell the person how much money you got. You ask them, well, nah. What's the price per whatever? Because you see what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to do. You dig?
he said with a grin.
Let me know your
That's
tickets,
exactly
and then
how
I'll
much
let you
a
know if
pound
I got
costs.
it.
Frankie laid out the
Yeah.
terms. They'd head back to his place where he'd hand over the goods. But there was one catch. No sniffing, opening, or even looking at the package. The smell could get you busted at the border, Frankie warned.
Well, that's good that he's already got it hermetically sealed. Shouts out to the hermetically sealed packages. Now, when the plug's working like that, that's usually a good pack. So you ain't even got to worry about it being bunk weed because, I mean, well, you do got to worry about it because the cheap people will do the expensive thing to fool you into being comfortable. But you got to know how to be comfortable with drug deals, though. You know, you got to be out there experienced. Shout out to the experience gang. You know, I've been robbed once, maybe twice. Probably not twice, but probably once. You know, everybody go through that once.
Giving them a knowing look. Everything was happening so fast. Nate and Topher didn't think twice. They handed over all their cash without even checking what was in the bag. That decision marked the start of their wild ride. They had no idea it would lead them into a world full of risks, betrayal, and big money. Crossing the border turned out to be a whole new challenge. The Canadian border is 3 times longer than the Mexican one, and there are no fences. That means you could just walk through the woods and at some point, realize you've already crossed into the US. Nate and Topher decided to take advantage of this. Unlike many other smugglers who hid weed in horse trailers, logs, tires, or even inside their own bodies, their plan was much simpler. Nate would drive home in his car, while Topher carried the stash in a backpack through the wilderness. Topher had to hike
Teamwork
about 7
and a dream.
miles through dense forest, filled with wildlife, including grizzly bears. He was given 2 instructions. Get to the US side and avoid running into a bear. The forests of British Columbia are famous for their rugged nature. Thick trees,
7 miles
almost
and there's
impenetrable
bears.
undergrowth, and an abundance of...
Now, see, since we are on YouTube, all the ladies that said they'd rather be stuck alone in the forest with a bear versus stuck alone in the forest with a man, they picked the bear. That's the bad news. I'm sorry for y'all. I mean, it happened to y'all. 2024 wasn't y'all here. Y'all picking bears and ain't gonna make it. These ain't teddy bears.
This region was perfect
These
for
is predators.
smuggling because of its low population density and lack of clear border markings, making crossings nearly invisible. But for Topher, this was his first experience with something so risky, and he knew just how dangerous it could be. After wandering through the woods for hours, Topher finally spotted a sign of civilization, a steakhouse sign. Nate was waiting for him in the parking lot, patiently sitting in the car. Topher climbed in, filled with pride that he'd made it. To celebrate their success, he lit up a joint from the new stash. But the celebration didn't last long. After just one puff, they both realized something was off. Frankie, the seller they had trusted, had scammed them. Instead of high-quality British Columbia buds, he'd sold them low-grade Mexican weed. Worse, this product had already made the rounds. Smuggled into the US, then into Canada, and now back into the States. Their disappointment was huge, but they quickly learned one thing. In this business, you can't trust anyone, not even an old man who seems reliable. Still, the situation wasn't catastrophic. Idaho was far from being a hub for high-quality cannabis, and even low-grade weed could find a buyer. That's when Nate turned to an old friend, Scuzz, for help. Scuzz was only 18 and still in high school, but his life was far from carefree. He'd grown up in a poor household without a father. His mom worked 2 jobs to keep the family afloat, and Scuzz had learned early on to rely on himself. He was the kind of guy who could talk to anyone and find his way out of any situation. Scuzz was well known in his neighborhood as the guy who could get anything. He hustled wherever he could, selling items from garage sales, fixing bikes, sweeping parking lots, and doing odd jobs for neighbors. These skills made him a natural salesman. So when Nate asked him to move a stash of weed, Scuzz didn't hesitate. To him, this was a chance to make some real money and prove he was capable of more. Scuzz got to work immediately. He knew exactly where to find buyers. High school parking lots, skate parks, and old strip malls where teens like to hang out. It only took him a few days to sell the entire stash, bringing in $2,800, double the amount Nate and Topher had initially invested. This success fired Nate up. He turned to Topher and said, "High Times was right. Why isn't everyone doing this? If we double our money every time, we could make $3 million in 14 months.
God damn.
For two teenagers, the idea didn't just seem ambitious.
Nigga.
It felt entirely possible.
How is we not
They swore
going
they'd
to
avoid
What up,
the
Tamika
usual
Davis? Good to
mistakes
see you.
drug
Hopefully
dealers
you having a
made.
good evening.
No weapons, no wasting money on stupid stuff, and no girlfriends to mess things up.
They tried to
Their plans
ban
almost fell
the
apart on the way
first part
back
of the
when Nate
video,
noticed
so
red
you
and
know,
blue
be
lights
careful with
flashing
sharing
in his
this one.
rearview mirror. His stomach dropped. He braced for the worst. But instead of arresting them, the Canadian cops did something unexpected. They gave them advice. If you're looking for quality weed, you need to go to Nelson, not Creston, and keep it under the speed limit, they said. For Nate, the encounter with the Canadian police and their unexpected advice was a real eye-opener. He had always believed that smuggling marijuana meant constant risk, being chased and facing the threat of arrest, but Canada seemed to play by a completely different set of rules.
Nah, we don't
By
care.
this
We don't
time,
let you
the
leave.
country had already established itself
Hell,
as a
you
global
bought it
leader
here.
in the marijuana
We don't
market.
get money from the
Since
person that got the money.
2001, when medical marijuana was
I mean,
legalized,
winning.
the industry had grown rapidly, turning into a multi-billion-dollar market. It was estimated that this business generated around $7 billion
They bleeping
annually.
everything out. You might as well
One
see
of the
me
most
puffing.
remarkable places in this industry was
What
Nelson,
up, though?
a small town in the heart of British Columbia. With a population of just over 10,000 people, Nelson was known for its laid-back attitude toward marijuana. This town was home to some of the finest cannabis strains, sought after not just in Canada, but worldwide.
See,
Nelson
now they
became a
really
sort of
want
mecca for both cannabis
Yeah,
growers
you got
and
the plug.
consumers, where local shops and farmers offered top-quality products. Canada's laws were surprisingly lenient. Unlike the US, where such activities could lead to lengthy prison sentences, in Canada, growing and selling marijuana was treated almost like any other business. Energized by this new information, Nate and Topher headed to Nelson to find what Frankie couldn't provide: premium products and reliable partners. The town greeted them with its relaxed vibe. Its small streets, lined with hydroponic stores, coffee shops, and souvenir shops, immediately signaled that they had arrived at the center of cannabis culture. Nelson was a place where no one asked unnecessary questions but knew how to get things done. After hours of searching and talking with local entrepreneurs, Nate and Topher finally found what they were looking for: farmers who specialized in growing high-quality cannabis. These people were not only experts in their field, but also had the resources and equipment necessary to produce a product that could compete in any market. The farmers had greenhouses outfitted with state-of-the-art lighting systems, automated irrigation, and precise temperature controls. This allowed them to grow cannabis with unique aromas and high THC levels that set their products apart. For Nate, this connection marked the beginning of a new chapter. These producers offered not just a product, but a long-term partnership. They were ready to supply regular shipments in quantities that could be easily transported across the border. This opened up enormous possibilities for Nate and Topher. Their business was no longer a naive experiment by two teenagers. They now had a real chance to build a network that could bring them not only money but also serious influence in the market. For Nate and Topher, this was only the first step. They could feel that their
Step
big
one,
dream was
find
starting
the
to come
plug.
true.
Step two,
But they also
re-up.
understood that even greater risks and challenges lay ahead.
Yeah.
Nate and Topher
Make a
waited
re-up.
until
That's the
nightfall,
first challenge.
parked just a few miles from the Canadian border. This moment was critical to their operation. The cover of darkness made it easier to avoid detection, and the secluded stretch of forest reduced the risk of being spotted. Once the conditions were just right, Topher, dressed head to toe in camouflage, blended into the surroundings. He grabbed a duffel bag full of cash and silently disappeared into the dense forest. His mission sounded straightforward, but was anything but easy. He had to hike about 7 miles through rugged, wild terrain with no maps or navigation, just his instincts to guide him. Every step was a gamble. The Canadian wilderness is infamous for its thick vegetation, dangerous wildlife like grizzly bears, and unpredictable weather. But Topher had one goal: reach the farmers waiting on the other side. On the Canadian side, the farmers were ready. These locals had been working with smugglers for years and knew how to get things done quickly and discreetly. The exchange was fast. One bag of cash went their way, and a bag filled with top-grade British Columbia buds went Topher's. Once the deal was done, it was time for the return trip, back along the same forest trails, now carrying precious cargo. Meanwhile, Nate crossed the border legally in his car. He had taken every precaution to avoid suspicion. Plain clothes, an unassuming car, and a calm, confident demeanor. His job was to play the role of an ordinary citizen returning from Canada, drawing attention away from Topher, who was trekking through the forest with their product. Once Topher made it back to the U.S. side, he handed off the bag to Nate. Nate's next job was distribution, and his first
Shouts out
stop
to
was
Nate.
always Scuzz.
Y'all need to go
handled
check
the
out the
sales,
Big Homie Nate the Great
ensuring the product
podcast
moved
daily,
quickly through
roping
his
it in.
network of dozens of
Even on the
dealers
Clapper
who
app,
were
too.
already waiting
Shouts
for
out to
their
that.
share. The
Y'all be
operation
on
was
multiple
simple but
platforms.
incredibly
YouTube be
effective.
tripping.
Topher earned $1,000.
And I don't know if y'all aware, when YouTube be tripping, it's just like when anybody else be tripping. What up, Izzy? Shouts out to Izzy in the chat. Y'all know if y'all need anything designed up, you better go to Izzy first, or you better have somebody that you know might be what you wanted already lined up. If not, go hit up Izzy Pop. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to do a consultation with her coming up. Hell, it'll even be a business deduction. Too bad I can't make it a business trip, but you know how we do. You know how we do. This is a good video though. 10 kingpins who flooded U.S. with Canada's best bud. If y'all want to go check out the original video, it was over here on a channel called Mr. Skim. He got 14.5k subs. We'll add one to that and a thumbs up because, you know, I appreciate his content. It's good stuff over here. You dig? But anyways, back to my video, since I actually gave shouts out to the original CCs. Shout out to content creators. You know, they be mad. Well, Popcorn, you could at least give me a shout out. I mean, for the people paying attention, I have your whole video in here and where to go get it from. If they catch it, they don't. You know, they don't like to look in the video description anyways. That's why that motherfucker be empty on a lot of pages. People ain't even trying to read nothing. But for the people that are trying to read, we got links down there to this stuff that you might want to see. So check it out. It's early talking about getting that THC pack out there. Hell, I might have to be his THCA vendor this week. The big homie hit me up. I could send packages all across the U.S. as long as they pay for it. You know what I'm saying? It'll be discreet and exact shipping. There you go. There we go. We ain't gonna say too much. You know, it's all hemp over on my side. I got legal hemp products. Shouts out to the Hemp and Cannabis Act of 2018 because it got extended, baby. Hell, we keeping it popping.
For every run. For him, it was a solid payday, considering his role in the operation. But the real profits went to Nate, who pocketed over $150,000 from each trip. It was an amount of money Nate had never seen in his life, and one that fueled his ambitions to grow the business. As the cash started rolling in, it became clear that they needed more manpower. Nate realized the operation couldn't scale without help, so he turned to his high school friends. This formed the core of his team. These teens, who became known as the Nerd Gang, didn't look like your typical drug runners, but they were smart, careful, and willing to do the work. Before every run, the team would gather at a predetermined spot near the border to gear up. They changed into camouflage suits and loaded their cash into durable waterproof duffel bags. Each bag held up to $400,000 in cash, ready to be traded for product. Every run was meticulously planned. The group would leave their cars and head into the forest, following routes they had carefully scouted to avoid patrols or accidental witnesses. They weren't just a bunch of high school kids anymore. They were a well-organized, disciplined team, capable of pulling off operations that seemed unthinkable for people their age. At first, they promised themselves they wouldn't flaunt their wealth, but that quickly changed. Soon, every member of the crew started buying things they'd only dreamed of before. They bought motorcycles, jet skis, massive plasma TVs, and even top-of-the-line mini-disc players. Scuzz, who had been living in his mom's basement, told her he was renting a small apartment but actually bought a house by the lake. Nate took things even further. He started throwing massive parties,
This fool
inviting half
crazy.
the town every week.
He said,
purchased
nah,
an
nah,
8-bedroom
nah.
mansion and
I
even
got
built
a
a
studio,
separate house
mom.
just to
I done
store
bought
his
a
cash.
house on the
He
lake.
bought an SUV with oversized...
Hey, shouts out to that house on the lake, though. You know, he appreciate that. Hey, man, these videos, I keep telling y'all, we do reviews over here. Shout out to the ones we got coming up this weekend, because I was looking at them playlists, too. I might get flagged again. Shout out to being flagged. You better have you a backup plan or a buy me a coffee ready. Shout out to having that buy me a coffee ready, though. You know, I keep mine. I ain't gonna keep talking about it. Y'all know the word to find me.
sized 20-inch rims, diamond
Just search
chains, and
TWP.
began
I'll
acting
pop
like a
up.
rapper, convinced that's what successful drug dealers should look like. He spent money on luxury watches, invested in a recording studio, and even found himself a girlfriend, a stripper named Buffy. When Nate's mom asked him where all the money was coming from, he told her it was from his snow plowing business. To make the
Yeah.
lie believable, he bought her a house in the upscale lakeside area. After that, she stopped asking questions.
See?
The most
See?
shocking
Bought her
part of
out.
this story was how quickly Nate and his crew adapted to their new lifestyle. In the past, Nate had tried working as a paperboy, telemarketer, cashier, and pizza delivery guy. But he realized the only truly fast way to make money was through selling weed. A year later, their crew had grown to 32 people, and they were moving over 1,000 pounds of marijuana across the country. Nate's simple operation had become a well-oiled machine. But despite their success, problems started to arise. One night, their runners stumbled upon a DEA agent sleeping in his truck deep in the woods. That winter, temperatures had dropped to 14 degrees Fahrenheit, and after losing the trail, the runners nearly froze to death. After that incident, Nate started equipping the cars with explosives, so if they were ever stopped by police, they could destroy the evidence and escape. By 2002, the stakes were higher than ever. To reassure his runners, who were now transporting thousands of pounds of weed, Nate promised to pay their bail and hire lawyers if they ever got arrested. But Topher was becoming increasingly uneasy. He was worried about Nate's growing public presence and the rapid expansion of their operation. He begged Nate to get out of the game, but Nate laughed it off, saying he'd stop only if he got caught. He was confident that with the right lawyers, he could buy his way out of any situation. Their original goal of $3 million, which once seemed huge, now felt laughable. They were making that much in less than a month. To calm Topher down, Nate raised his pay to $8,000 per run, but even that wasn't enough to ease his growing anxiety. At 3 a.m., Nate got a call. Scuzz had been robbed. 3 masked men broke into his house, held him at gunpoint, and demanded to know where the cash and weed were. For Nate, this was a serious wake-up call. Someone not only knew about their operation, but also knew where they lived.
Well,
Nate
that's
Norman
easy.
wasn't
That's why
the
we don't
only
make them
teenager
big-ass
running a
purchases,
marijuana
see?
smuggling business.
That house on the
There
lake.
was another player in the game.
Yeah,
a young man
all
known
those
as Vank.
motherfuckers know where
Born in
you stay
Korea
because
and
all the
adopted
ladies
as a
gonna try to
child,
be up in that
Vank grew
motherfucker. You
up in
threw a
what
party,
most would
huh?
call a perfect
You threw a
home.
party. Come on now, he threw a party. You know he threw a party. The motherfuckers couldn't resist house parties back then. Man, I just spent all that money on the house. Why not throw the party, baby? Because now motherfuckers know where you stay, and then they gonna figure out your business because they just gonna watch you. What's he doing? He leaving, robbing here. Where is that? Well, that's following. I got gas. I'm trying to rob him. Hell, you can't get paid unless you put in the work. But they put in that work though. I mean, shit. Can't get paid unless you put in the work though.
He played the violin and was an honors student. But when he turned 17, something changed. He went from being the perfect kid to a full-blown gangster popping OxyContin and snorting lines all day. He drove a Cadillac Eldorado and ran his own weed smuggling operation. In many ways, Vank was like Nate.
gangster.
Both were nerdy teenagers who somehow became drug
He
lords.
said he popped
But in other
oxy.
ways, they were complete opposites. Nate was content making millions alongside his friends, while Vank wanted to dominate the entire market. Nate knew about Vank and the other dealers in town, but figured there was enough money in the game for everyone. Vank didn't see it that way. He wanted to take over Nate's territory, so he reached out to his old roommate, Giovanni, with a small job offer. Take out Nate Norman for $100,000. He even promised a $5,000 advance to get things started. Giovanni, who had never committed a crime before, thought about it and said, "Why not?" Giovanni called up a few friends and headed to the local hardware store to pick up supplies: tarps, gloves, and rope. Meanwhile, Vank threw a party to give himself an alibi. He wanted as many people as possible to see that he couldn't have been involved in Nate's murder. But instead of following through with the hit, Giovanni and his crew decided to rob Scuzz's house instead. They broke in, stole a few pounds of weed, and walked out with $40,000 in cash.
Oh,
Giovanni hadn't received the $5,000 advance yet, so he figured he might as well take what he could now. When Nate heard about the robbery, he initially thought it was the work of a cartel. He had no idea he was caught in a turf war with another teenage dealer. For the first time, Nate was genuinely scared. He moved out of his
I was
house
going
and
to high
rented a new
school
one on
worried
the
about
opposite
fucking
side of
homecoming.
town. Now he slept with a loaded
Hey, you got money to buy that homecoming dress? Probably didn't. Why? Because you wasn't trying to get it. Man, shouts out to fucking these guys. They still in high school, 17 and beefing with over the whole United States.
gun under his pillow,
Got him.
constantly bracing for the next
What up,
threat.
DJ Tanya Renee?
During the summer,
Hopefully you
Nate
got
tried
your
to keep a
tests
low
worked
profile
out.
and moved in with his
Y'all know
girlfriend
DJ
Buffy,
Tanya over
but
here
trouble
making
still
some
found
changes to
him.
the
One day, while
program,
riding his
which
bike,
means it's
he
going
lost
to be an
control,
even better
crashed, and
experience
flipped
on
over,
Friday and
breaking both of his
Saturday.
arms.
Y'all know it's going to be
This
lit over at that
accident marked
motherfucker.
the
So
beginning
turn,
of serious problems
what
for
you
Nate.
say,
He
tune
quickly
in
became
and turn
hooked on
up?
the
Yeah,
painkillers
something
his
like that.
doctors had
I
prescribed.
got you.
The situation was made worse by the fact that Buffy,
Oh, well, shit.
who had
We'll get it
recently
done by
undergone
Friday,
breast
just like I figured out
augmentation
my
surgery,
motherfucking
was
internet
unable to take
problems.
care of him.
Hell, this has been a fun
Nate was
video
left
today.
in a helpless state, consumed by pain and
Matter of
increasingly
fact,
dependent
I'm
on
at
the
56
medication he was
minutes.
taking more and more
I'm
often.
gonna go ahead
Now
and,
Nate lived in
since we're gonna re-record this gonna end up being a Rumble exclusive, y'all. I keep telling y'all, I ain't even gonna finish the video. So y'all already know if y'all want to see the complete video, y'all gonna have to go over to Rumble and hit the replay gang as soon as I get it posted for you. There's some other videos down there too, but I ain't gonna let y'all see what all's in that playlist. Hell, that's a video for next week too. Shit, leave one more, right? I'll holler at y'all. TWP. Have another day in paradise.